So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can create your own IT roadmap in 9 steps. You'll see all the steps. I'm going to go through all of them. And at the end, I'm going to make a summary of all of it. And you should be able to create your own IT roadmap after this video. So the first thing we should discuss before even creating a roadmap is how important creating or having his own IT roadmap is critical. Today, everything is digital. So if you want to stay or be more competitive in your market or in your markets, you need to have a plan. You need to take advantages of all the tools available in the market, improve your processes, take care of people, and selecting the best technology or the best solution for you to improve your competitiveness overall. And also having a roadmap increases the chances of very high adoption rate within your employees or your stakeholders, having better communication during that implementation, the implementation of that plan, and improve employees' experience during the creation of the map, during the implementation of the roadmap itself, and overall by using better tools, having more information, more business intelligence, more ways of simplifying the lives of your employees. And by having a plan, you can show leadership on showing where you're going, what you want to achieve, and making sure that you're aligning your business objectives with your digital IT initiatives. So the creation of this IT roadmap is going to be divided in 2 videos. Part 1, this video, and it will be a part 2. So I'm going to show you those 9 steps divided in 2 parts. Part 1. So first, the famous why. Why you want to have a digital transformation roadmap for your company. This is something that is kind of typical, basic, but very important. Also, what is your starting point, where you are right now, and what do you want to achieve with this roadmap? And also, very important thing is you need to define what is the highest value interaction you have in your business. What is your cash cow sequence, your cash cow process? This is something that we'll attack in this roadmap creation. And people, you've heard me many times saying about people, process, and technology, but focus on people because the people are making the difference. The people are really making the transformation of your company. So taking care of them, involving them ASAP, makes total sense for the success of your transformation. So, and in step 3, you define what is the highest value interaction you have in your organization, in your company. Now it's time to map it. So mapping it is something more, it's a bit more difficult, but you have to do it. You need to master that sequence to find out what are the secrets, what are the inefficacies, what are the gaps in that sequence. So very, very important. And from that and the previous elements, you can really create your own plan. And this is something, and again, it's a tougher step, obviously. You need to put all those pieces together to make a plan. So we're going to go through that together in the part 2 or in a subsequent video. And step number 7 is you need to measure the progress. You need to measure the success or some challenges you may have through your plan during the implementation, but you need to do that up front, not waiting when it happens. You need to plan for your plan. And something very well neglected, you need to make sure that you are getting the management team on board. That could be you, the management team. You could be part of a management team, but at the end of the day, you need to show example. They need to show the example. So we're going to go through that as well in step 8. And final step, which is not really a step in itself, but it's something that you need to kickstart this journey. And this is really to start your DT, digital transformation journey with your stakeholders. Okay, step 1, why a digital IT roadmap? So the famous why. Maybe you've hired a consultant in the past or you've done it yourself, but why it is very important. You need to know why you're doing these things. we went through some advantages of the benefits of, the benefits of having a digital roadmap and going through all of that. But as we say often, everything is digital, so you need to make sure that these projects are well managed, and you can assure, or let's say increase the chances of having a success with your implementation. But that why allows you to communicate better about why you're doing it with your employees, with your stakeholders, or any people or any stakeholders you hire or you're involved in. If you have a board of directors, they need to know why you're doing these things, why you're spending so much money and hiring these people internally or externally. So whatever the expenses you do, you need to justify it with a why. And also in your why, I would say, explanation, you need to share with everybody that this is a journey. So digital transformation is a journey, not a single project punctual in time where it's going to end up at one date and we should be good. It's more a mix of projects, all well aligned together with gaps and time to learn a few things and to adopt a few things and to absorb all these new things that you're going to bring with this project. And obviously, knowing your why helps you to make critical decisions. You could face a situation where you need to make a critical decision, and what happens is, okay, the next project is going to fill up this need, example. So in that moment, knowing what you went through and what's coming up would help you to make that decision, that critical decision. But if you don't know why you're doing it, you don't know where you're going, you don't have a plan, it's tougher to make decisions. You could decide to go like 90-degree right, 90-degree left, or somewhere in between. But if you have a plan, you know exactly where you're going. So the why is very, very important. And again, digital transformation helps to stay competitive in this digital world. So it is very, very important. And you need to think about playing the long game. So it goes back to the journey versus single project, but playing the long game, as Simon Sinek popularized, but even it's coming from somebody else. But playing the long game is you need to be patient. You need to make sure you're doing the right steps at the right time. And again, having a plan helps you to do that. So step 2. Most of my customers, they are asking me, Steve, where should I start? I want this transformation to be done. I want to have all the benefits and advantages of doing that journey, that project, whatever they call it at that time, but they want that to be done. They know it's important. Everybody knows that it is important, but they don't know where to start. So obviously, to create a roadmap is a good starting point, but within the roadmap creation, what is the smaller starting point? You need to assess where you are. If you want to reach the objectives of being more competitive, to save money, increase revenues, increase profits, or all of that, yes, you know where you want to be, but in order to know the gaps and the inefficacies, you need to assess where you are. You have multiple ways of assessing your companies. You need to look at people's skills. You need to look at your technology stack, all the products and solutions you have right now. What is your markets? But if you use something like the SWOT, you look at your strengths and weaknesses in many different aspects of your business, and you look at opportunities and threats. So if you look at these two, if you're not familiar with SWOT, strengths and weaknesses are internal to your organizations, like people, could be processes, could be tools, could be different things, could be management. In terms of opportunities and threats, it's more about what is external to your organization or your company. So what are your opportunities in terms of partnerships, of markets creation, your actual market, how you can improve in your actual market, example, but also what are the threats, what is the competition around, what could be a law from the government that can prevent you to do certain things, or it can change in the next days or years. So it's all these things you need to be aware and to assess all these things. But mostly internally, you should focus on what you can do internally with the staff you have, with the skills you have, because that can help you to decide if you need to hire external consultants or hire people to join your team and improve your skills and make it good. But the thing is, doing this assessment is key to understand where you are, to know exactly what gaps you need to fill, what inefficacies that you have right now that can help you to achieve your objective. So very, very important to do that step. Now, step number 3. So your highest value interaction or interactions. So what does that mean exactly? So you need to look at all your processes, all the things that you do internally, almost all of them. I mean, the longest and the biggest one, and focus on the one that brings the most level of revenue. So what is your cash cow process? By looking at this one, that should be what we call from quote to cash. So when the people are asking or filling a form or getting some numbers, some costs from you, and from that they sign to do business with you, and at the end you deliver the service and the product, and you are collecting the money. So the quote to cash process, you need to know which one or which ones if you want to add more, but I would strongly suggest to go with one quote to cash process, your main one, and from this one you need to say, okay, this is the one that I want, and you'll see in further steps we're going to talk about what to do with this, but in this step just define which one is the most important for you. By focusing on this one and creating a plan around this cash cow process will help you to get benefits quickly. So my goal is to help you to get some quick wins ASAP. So this way your plan will launch. You'll show quick wins to your employees, to the management, and to you. So you'll show some progress and success that will be very helpful to keep the momentum on your plan. So now the last step of part 1, which is not the last step of the 9 steps, but it is step number 4, meet your people. So you need to really collaborate or bring the people, your staff, into your plan creation. So you know exactly the inputs, you know the details of the day-to-day of their operations. They know it. I don't think you are aware of everything they do. You could be surprised by doing some interviews and sitting with them and learning from them. And with this, you'll know the pain points of their pain points, the pain points of your customers for certain markets, always focusing on your cash cow process. What do they do every day to satisfy the customer? Do they have to do certain things manually? Is it efficient? So all these things that you need to understand, you need to learn from them. But by sitting with them, by meeting them, you get a lot of valuable feedback and inputs that's going to help you to build your plan, to build and improve and changes the way that they work, yes, but also bring more efficacy and efficiency in the thing. So, and by involving them, you are also mitigating the risk of a very high resistance level and also increasing the adoption rate eventually, because they'll be part of the creation of the plan. So they're going to be part of the solution. And by being part of the solution, they will feel involved and they will feel that it is their process, the new process or the new ways of doing things, that's going to be their way as well, because you have consulted them in the process to build the best tool for them to be more efficient and serve your customers in a better way. So meet your people is the last step of part 1, so of this video. So I strongly recommend to look at part 2 to know what's going on with the 5 from step 5 to step 9. But in this one, we've seen why we need to have a roadmap, why it is important. Secondly, you need to assess your starting point ASAP. So you need to know where to start, to know where and how you can achieve your objectives, and to define your highest value interaction within your company, to really focus on this one, to improve and create a plan around this cash cow process, this quote to cash interaction or sequence, and meet your people to understand what do they do every day on this cash cow sequence and how you can understand and see all the details that they go through that you may not be aware, and you need to be aware. So stay tuned for the next video, and we'll talk about step 5 to step 9.